About a decade later, in about maybe 96 or 97, I don't know if this is in true life either. I was going to a library in St. Paul, Minnesota, and this woman was teaching some writing group, how to write poetry, and I went there just to see, because she was a woman who had a few books published. Her name was Patricia Kirkpatrick. I called her Patsy K. She was married to a guy named Bart Schneider. You can look up both of their books. Bart Schneider, a terrible writer. He ran a thing called The Loft. Patsy K is giving advice to people. So these old people had given some poem that she gave some bad advice about it. I had read a poem or something, and I was giving advice to their poems that was specific to them, like I did at the Uptown Poetry Group. What happened was, I think it was like a 5 or 6 week course. By the third week, people were the people there were going, well, what does Dan think? And Patsy would opine on something, but Dan, do you agree with her? And then Dan, and so I basically almost became the de facto leader of this group. And this woman, Patricia Kirkpatrick, hated me. Oh, I could see it in her. I mean, she had her little Dan Schneider Cupid doll and was sticking, razor blades in it every night when she went home, because she wasn't telling these people the truth. She wasn't telling them how to improve their poems. She was just giving platitudes, and I was speaking directly to them. This is why this works. This is why this doesn't work. This is why. And I was actually dealing with them as intelligent human beings. There are so many people in the MFA programs that talk down to people. There was a woman that I knew in Minnesota that Jessica isn't particularly fond of. She's a pretty good poet. Her name is Cindra Howe. But she's also one of these people who, when she would have these writing groups, would talk down condescendingly, because she would be talking normally like I am. But then when she would get into the poetry groups, she would talk, let's talk about poetry. Let's talk about symbolism. Let's talk. She would get into this affected kind of kindergarten teacher kind of talk, whereas I would just talk regular to people, and everything's precious. This is fuck you, that kind of stuff. Stop talking down to people. This is the thing that drives me crazy with the arts. Stop talking down to people. Yes, most people are idiots, but you have to talk up to people. Very few will get them, but those few that do get them, they're the ones worth actually conversing with.